G'day listeners and welcome to another episode of the Scouting Australia podcast, powered by Australian Property Scout Buyers Agency. I'm your host, Sammy Gordon, and today, guys, we've got a little bit of a different episode for you. Now, aptly titled, as you would have read on the way into this episode, is What is the APS Summit? What is the Australian Property Scout Summit? What is it? What's going on? A lot of people have been sending in and asking us for a bit more detail, a bit more information on this thing. The reason why it's titled that way is because when I posted it, Jimmy called me and goes, mate, what is the APS Summit? What even is this thing? I had people in the team ringing me going, mate, what's this thing you're going on about that just got posted? Most of the team didn't know about this. We kind of planned this thing in about a week. We just posted this thing and we were all in, right? So I'd like to welcome back to the studio the man from the south, the dirty Mexican from south of the border.
No offense to the Mexicans out there.
Love the Mexicans. But Jimmy, mate, welcome north. How are you?
G'day, back Sammy. G'day, listeners. And it is always good to be back up here. And, mate, you couldn't have started any better than that, Sammy, because when you said to me, we've got a summit, and I said, okay, great. Sammy's going to do some exercise finally, climb the summit. However, when you said, Jimmy, are you going to be emceeing? I was like, emceeing what, Sammy? The summit. And I was thinking, how the hell has this guy launched a summit? He hasn't even discussed it with me. I'm apparently going to be at the Gold Coast in April. So I said, Sammy, we're going to do an episode. I don't know.
I actually thought you were out of the country. I thought we were safe. The listeners were hoping you were not Australia side.
Lukey was going to be the MC. No. But I am. There's no one more curious. About this summit than I am, because
you don't know anything about it.
No, I don't know anything about it. So I prepared a whole bunch of questions, folks. I'm sure you're all thinking about these exact same questions, and I'm sure if you have any more questions after today, write them in.
Write them in. Anything you guys want to know, let us know. But I thought we would run this one a little bit differently. I'm going to let Jimmy take the reins here. He's got a big bunch of questions he wants to run through and rattle off with me. And yeah, pretty much give you guys a full breakdown of what this thing's going to be all about.
Now, Sammy.
Jimmy.
There's not many people on the planet that are as busy as you.
Okay.
So,
I was about to cut in and go, uglier than you?
Wow. So to add another thing to the plate of the Sammy Gordon feast of things that keep you busy, my friend.
Love a couple of steaks.
I'm curious.
Yes.
The inspiration behind the summit. Let's start there. Why? Why are we doing this?
The biggest thing for me is I want to do something. I don't think anyone else is doing this, right? But I want to do something that no one else is doing. And in my mind, that's creating a community. We always talk about this on the podcast, right? Creating a community where people are thinking, talking, acting in a certain way when it comes to property and investing with that mindset. And I just can't see it out there anywhere. And people have asked me for ages, can you create this group or that group or anything? I'm like, no, it's not something I want to kind of put the time into doing that side of things. That's not for me. I like the podcast. I love what we do with APS. And this really, I was thinking about it and I go, well, how can I bring people together where we can fill a bloody, not a stadium, but an event center and give the people as much information as possible. They can surround themselves with the APS, staff and crew, yourself and myself and all the other guys that the guys regularly hear. If you're dealing with APS as well, with your own buying journey, there's going to be a lot of people you meet there that you've probably never heard or seen before, like in person or on podcasts or anything like that. So it's a real chance for everyone to kind of meet and greet with the APS team. But man, it's just something I want to do to get people together, get them excited, get them thinking, talking, excited about property. I know when I've been to different things in the past, you go to things and you come out of them like excited, but without actionable steps or without like a real motivation or real direction out of the back of it, right? So the whole idea for it is it's to inspire people to kind of go to that next level and actually pulling the trigger, making things happen. If you're, especially we've got people already, clients, there's already a couple of hundred clients. This thing's been out for less than a week from you and I recording this right now. There is more than 200 clients that have booked flights, hotels, and tickets to come interstate to the Gold Coast to watch this thing live. And to me, that's commitment of people really just wanting to continually immerse themselves in this thing, get as much as they can out of it, and yeah, man, they're the sort of people I kind of want to get together, and whether people are coming from interstate or whether they're Southeast Queensland based or Northern New South Wales, whatever it is,
or from Mexico,
if they're coming up from the south, we love it. Bring some. I love tacos. Bring some mezcal. Let's have a big night. And I literally, man, I just want to get everyone together in this room. I want to have mad energy. I want to deliver awesome content. But man, people love the podcast. They love me ripping you. They don't like you talking too much, but they love that stuff. You know what I mean? And then doing it in front of an audience. I don't know. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to do this thing. I want to do it. It's not a pitch fest. I'm not trying to sell to everyone. It's literally the tickets cover the cost of the event. That is it. We're not making anything off this thing. Yeah. It's literally to get people in a room thinking, talking, acting, building that community of people. How often do people say to each other, or people say to us, man, I wish, we could catch up all the time. I wish I could speak to you guys all the time. I wish I had mates that were like you guys and I could talk to all the time. This is the event where you're going to put yourself in the room with other people who are thinking that you're going to be able to talk to, whether it's just at events or you're going to, keep touch base with people and help push people along and all the rest of it. I don't know, man. It's just all about creating a community of people to actually create a movement towards retiring through property.
I love it. Now, you did mention off the top there that 200 people have signed up. Now, they don't have to be clients that have bought with Australian Property Scout, do they? Just to be off the top. So if you're a client or if you're not a client, it's open for anyone.
It's open, man. Yeah, okay, the whole idea, it's a Scouting Australia podcast audience. The APS followers. There's a lot of people out there having a crack trying to do it themselves, or there's people thinking about it. Maybe they're not in a position yet to do it yet as well. So it's definitely something to, it's for everyone.
So can I ask you then, how does this... Because I know you said that there aren't other things like this out there. There are different groups out there that they learn about different property things and so forth. But how is this going to differentiate from other real estate, or I don't even know if any other buyers agents do this kind of thing. I don't think any buyers agent has done it. But you know that you got the other real estate promoters and stuff. How do you think this is gonna differentiate from that?
The biggest thing I've always seen is other people out there that are actually doing courses. This is the whole reason I started School of Property as well. The other people starting courses or doing courses or all the rest of the sort of stuff, they never built a portfolio before they made money out of business, right? So the average Australian building a portfolio, it's unrelatable for them from that perspective. So the whole idea of what we're trying to do is always create that movement and that belief and showing people how to do these things on ordinary and average Australian incomes. So, I see this stuff all the time, and I've been to these things before, these other seminars as well, and either they're told by, in my opinion, boring people that just can't really capture the ability to motivate you to try and go to another level, or if they're great at speaking and they're great at motivating, but they've never done it before and the content's shit. There's no happy medium or some, grandiose end plan for this thing of where it comes out. And that's the whole idea, man. It's to create a really good atmosphere of people, again, thinking, talking, acting, building the confidence in this thing as well, but then also delivering really, really good content. And when you say, how's it going to be different as well? There's a few things in here that we're going to be doing, recording, some of the team that we're going to be getting on there. No one does stuff the way that we do it. There's other property podcasts out there. People listen to Scouting Australia podcast for a reason. There's a way that you and I do things that people seem to like. So it's going to be delivering mad content in an enjoyable way. All right?
All right. Well, I'm going to hold you to that.
Can I tackle you? We're going to start a poll. We're going to start a poll. Well, how's it going to be different? Who's ever tackled the MC on stage?
Well, can I say,
we're going to start a poll?
No, we're not starting a poll.
Yes.
Because anytime we do some function with more than 5 or 10 people, I end up having a bung shoulder or a sore knee or something. So no, please.
Take everyone on. Take everyone on.
Why don't you tackle Lukey?
I'll tackle Lukey. Fuck, actually, probably shouldn't have said that. The dude's a giant. Everyone will see when you get there. You would have seen the photo when we won Buyer's Agent of the Year award. Yeah. Everyone's like normal heights. And then there's this fucking giant on the end. And who the hell is this guy?
Now, Lukey's not the security for the day. He's not the security guard.
Maybe you need him.
So I'm curious, Sammy, the topics. So you're talking about this. Give us a bit of juice. So what are the topics? What's going to be covered? Give us an idea of some of the sessions.
So I won't give an exact rundown, itinerary of the day in its entirety, but some of the key things we're going to be really tackling is, or divulging and punching out. Now, we're going to be doing the end of quarter roundtable that everyone loves. So we always get podcasts. Yeah. So we always get a lot of people that love, that end of quarter. We do the recap of what's been. We have a big discussion from the team side of things as well, with what we're seeing both on the ground. There's buyers agents to be going through that. There's obviously strategists. There's property economists. There's whatever you are. I don't know. What are you? You just run
here
it,
for the looks.
Yeah, just here for the bad looks. You know what I mean? So there's so many people on the ground within the APS team that we have within it to give us the view on what's happened in the past quarter and our take on all that, and then obviously our forecast for the next quarter as well. Something a little bit juicy on this is one of the regulars who's always on our round table is not going to be in the country. I was hoping it was going to be you. Unfortunately, it wasn't. someone else is not going to be in the country. So we are subbing in a special guest to be confirmed at a later date. But it will be
okay.
It will be good.
So when we do say, where's Wally? Where is Wally?
So now you've given away he's going to be away. But yes, where's Wally? He's disappeared. He's on a chart in the Madagascan forest, the jungle, and we've got to try and find him.
Okay, so there's going to be a podcast app live recorded.
Yes.
What else?
That's it. No, that's it. No,
that's it.
Well, one of the other things we're going to do, so we're going to do 2 podcasts live, okay? That's going to be the first one at the start of the day. At the end of the day, we're going to do another one. So obviously everyone, from the round table perspective, people love the different perspectives in the team. What I wanted to do was open it up to the audience to hit the round table as a panel with a Q&A. So we're going to do a Q&A with the APS round table where you guys can shoot and fire all your questions at the guys and at the team, and we pretty much just come back and answer everything from that end. So, you want to get your questions in, guys. You want to get in and amongst that, the sort of stuff you want to ask. There's going to be Big JT's going to be on there. Morgs is going to be there. Lukey's going to be there. You're going to be standing to the side.
No one's going to ask me anything.
I'm going to be there. Someone might ask about your haircut. When are you going to change it? And there'll be, again, a special guest, a different person to normal that's going to be on this thing.
Now, will anyone else get a word in without your big gob talking the whole day? I'm just curious.
They can direct the
questions.
questions.
I'm asking for a friend.
They can direct the questions at the specific person they want to answer it. So, when we put the polls up and everyone's got their meters, yours is 0, everyone else will have some questions coming at them, and that'll be it, all right?
Please do not ask any questions of Sammy. He will be so disappointed. If he doesn't get asked a question, it'll be the highlight of the day. Okay,
so that's the only way I'm going to keep my voice if no one asks me a question.
There's 2 podcasts. Okay, so we've got a couple of podcasts. There's a bit of Q&A from the audience. I like that. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other juicy little...
Man, there's something that's going to be rolling out this year. We know that the audience, we know that the people, the listeners love the Scouting Australia podcast investor stories, right? Something I'm bringing back this year, I'm going to bring into the fold this year, is going to be, where are they now? And the very first cab off the rank for that, and she's extremely nervous about doing this in front of a live audience, but is the highest rated episode ever, most downloaded episode, most shared episode ever on the Scouting Australia podcast, is Miss Morgan Holmes.
That is true.
And we're going to be doing a live Q&A and a where are they now. So we're going to start with the where are they now. We're going to recap where she was last time, where she is now, and then we're going to have and we're going to run through a few things there and where it's kind of gone. And then again, we're going to do a Q&A in the back end of that. So people can ask their questions. A lot of, especially females, heaps of people, we go to the gym and people come up to her, guys, girls, everything, say, I listen to your potty, all the rest of this sort of stuff. But very, very inspiring story for women, especially, 20s, 30s, all the rest of this sort of thing, and what she has been able to do and where she is now. So I think that'll be a really, really powerful session. I think a lot of people will take a lot of value out of, and a lot of inspiration out of. So, boys, if you're out there and your missus isn't 100% on board, or she's maybe a bit of an anchor for you in the situation, which happens a lot, as a partner.
And vice versa,
and vice versa. But obviously in this scenario, where the inspiring from the female side here, it could be a really, really good session for you guys to sit in on with your partner and have a listen to Morgs and how she's sort of done it and what she's built within her portfolio as well. And there's definitely been a couple of properties added to the mix at least that we're going to be kind of dissecting where she's at now and how everything's going as well, what else she's done in her portfolio. Yeah. So I think that'll be a really cool, really juicy session.
Okay. Anything else before I go on to the special guests? I'm curious as to whether you've got some...
Speaking of the special guests, in the last session or segment that I'll talk about, because all the other stuff we'll keep under wraps. But
so there's a few surprises. So in amongst those 3 things, there's a lot of herbs and spices. I know you love your KFC. So
you look like you love your KFC. I don't know what you're eating, but it's not working for you, mate.
So you're keeping a few things under your lid.
I am.
But special guests, can you give us any sneak peeks as to who have you got?
There is one special guest that I'll bring up. I'm not going to name the man. The man does not like to go mainstream. He is in the School of Property. If you're a student of School of Property, you'll know who my accountant is. He does not like to go mainstream. He likes to kind of lurk in the shadows, like the
sounds creepy.
I was going to say dodgy bastard. He's not a dodgy bastard. He's a good bloke, and he's going to come. And this episode will not be released. Like, this session is not going to be released on the major platforms because, again, he doesn't like being kind of out there in the open side of things. So this session will be obviously live in the room. It'll be something School of Property graduates will get access to down the track because obviously more of a closed audience.
Okay.
But yeah, man, if you want to, especially this session with him and run through everything from that side, we're going to be running through a big hit on pretty much everything to do with accounting on property. So you're going to have a lot of tax tips. You're going to have a lot of stuff around structuring and different things like that. We're going to be running through that session live in the room with him. This is literally my accountant, guys. We don't put accountants on these things. I don't put external people on these things easily. I've been working with him now for about 7 or 8 years. He was there when my portfolio started going to the next level. So he's an extremely advanced accountant with his knowledge base. And he's also a very, very accomplished property investor as well. He's got 20 plus properties himself. Wow. So very, very, I'm excited about that session. It's one of those ones he said, quick, do you really want me to? I'm like, I really want you to. He's like, we can't go on the major stuff. You know what I mean? He wants to keep it on the. Okay. You know when they do the older current affair interviews and they get blacked out? That's either, well, that might be him. We might just have to no light on me
with the voice.
Yeah. What to do?
The distorted voice.
That sounds a bit like you.
All right. So, any other special guests? Any big names? Like your Richard Bransons or Tony Robbins, any of that kind of stuff?
There's someone in the works. We are going to have a big announcement of someone that is going to be coming in. I don't know if they'll leave me any tickets left. I didn't want Bill. Bill offered to come on, and I said, mate, it's probably just not property specific enough, all right, for you. So,
any Doja Cat sort of any performances?
There might be some
Taylor,
some good songs from that ilk. Okay. But yeah.
All right.
Not live on stage.
So there's a few hidden. I like the sound of this. I'm quite curious. I'm gonna do a bit of probing offline to see who you've got in the mix. But so there's going to be special guests. Obviously, your accountant, which is incredible. That session alone, is going to be worth more than whatever people pay for this. 100%. That kind of content about.
Bro, the tickets are $99, man.
I know, that's my point.
It literally is just to cover the cost of the event. I'm not making anything off this thing. It is purely to try and put on something that people are going to love.
You know
That's all it is.
There's a question further down. Is it catered? And apparently it is.
It is catered, yeah,
so
100%.
$99 for a feed all day.
But you haven't paid for a ticket, so there's no food for you. You got a BYO
Not
sandwich
even the
or
carrot
something.
sticks.
Nah. I might bring you a 7-Eleven sandwich if I got one left in my bag from a week earlier.
Is there any kebabs?
Yeah, I had to go on for Paulie.
Okay. Okay.
You wouldn't have been happy if you didn't have a
even
spread.
catered all day.
100%, man. Yeah, for sure.
Folks, if you just want to come for a feed and a laugh, come.
That's pretty much what it is.
That's what it is.
That's pretty much what it is.
You're getting fed.
You know
watered.
the other thing to talk about as well, right? And this is specific primarily, by the way, everything we always talk about in a podcast is not financial or accounting advice, but how to chat to the accountant. And if you're a property investor, and it's like a thing where you used to go out and inspect your property, all the rest of sort of thing. Yeah. If you're a property investor, this is classed in a realm of education. I know there's a few guys that are doing the flights, and they're flying up on the Friday. Guys, it's in the Gold Coast. Yeah, they're flying up on the Friday morning. They're flying back on the Sunday arvo. They've got 2 nights accommodation. They've got a full day in the middle. Travel journey, all the rest of it. If you get a little bit of sunshine in between, go for a nice dinner, a couple of drinks in Broadbeach, it is what it is. Check with your accountant on that front, but we've had a few confirm that majority of this thing is going to be tax deductible as well. If you are a property investor.
If you are an investor.
Yes.
Okay, Sammy boy.
But if you think about it, man, Sydney to the Gold is like $100, $150 each way. The biggest thing I think on this as well is, let's say you're very early in your journey and you're scrimping and saving everything. You don't need to come. You don't need to come and spend the 2 nights and all the rest of it. You could fly in first thing in the morning, fly out at night. Is Easter long weekend before or after that? Are we losing daylight savings? I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is you could fly out first thing in the morning, fly out last thing at night, have a mad day on the tours, enjoying everything from that end, and it might cost you $400-500, at most with that.
Now, rumors going around the office that there are going to be some mentor students that will be selected. Is that true, or is that you keeping that under wraps? Because I've just blown that.
You've blown a lot of things, mate. You look like you've blown a couple of gaskets in your time.
Is that true?
It is true.
So, out of the audience, how are you going to pick them? Is it going to be a...
So, the last time we did the webinar, right, and I gave away some mentoring places. Yep. What I realized was there's a very, very low barrier to entry to show how committed you are being an investor to work with me. But from now on, this quarterly event, I'm going to do it. I don't care if 5 people turn up to this thing. Those 5 people are committed. I'm going to put on an event for those people. I don't care if it's 500, 5 people, 50 people, 500 people. We get to 1,000, whatever it is, right? I don't care what it is. I'm going to run these things at the end of every quarter. The only way you can get the mentoring with me moving on is being in that room at the end of the quarter We go into the draw, you submit where you're at, what you're trying to do. And I pick people from all walks of life. We had some people that were in their 50s. We had some people, that were starting with next to nothing. I had some people that were in their early 20s starting, first deal. There's guys all over the place. In their 30s making a lot of money with a very big established portfolio. People with nothing, people with heaps, all over the place, right? That's where we kind of pick this thing. And what I really want to do is, if you're committed enough to come, there's a lot of people from interstate sort of coming in from this thing from School of Property as well. You're in the room, you're a School of Property graduate, that's it. I don't charge for this thing. I don't charge for the mentoring side of things, right? I just pick 5 people out once a quarter that I want to work with and that I want to help. For the next 12 months, I'm going to mentor you and take your portfolio to the next level. So I'm going to be doing it. Yeah, I mean, you pulled the rabbit out of the hat, but this is essentially what we're doing from now on to be part of it from that end. So obviously, if you're wanting to do it, you've got to be a School of Property graduate. If you don't know what School of Property is or you want some more information, jump on www.schoolofproperty.com.au, book in for a discovery call there, and you can run through everything on that side. Okay. But this is essentially how you get in the mix to be mentored by me for the next 12 months.
I love that, Sammy boy. I think that's incredible value in that alone.
Thank you, Jimmy.
What about, you talk about the circle of influence. Is there any sort of network opportunities with, other providers or that can help you with your journey, whether it's finance or so forth? Is there going to be that kind of setup as well from a networking perspective?
Yeah, so like one of the important things that I think most people know about us as well, we don't take clips or comms from brokers and accountants and all this sort of thing, right? I try and put all of our clients with the best people that I think can execute at the highest level and get them the lowest rate I can. I actually try and negotiate as much as I can for discounts for our guys. So obviously my accountant's going to be in the room. Everyone's going to know who that is after his session. So he's going to be in the room. We are going to have, there is going to be a broker in the room as well. For this one, that's pretty much going to be the extent of what we're going to run through from that side for this event. We're, whatever we are, 5-6 weeks out from now. Some other people might come in from that perspective, but for now, that's going to be the extent of who we're going to have there in the room at the time. But there's going to be good exposure there to a couple of really, really high quality people as well.
Okay. Any unexpected surprises, or can you give us any unexpected activities that people can look forward to? Give them a bit.
You're about to say, are there any unexpected activities people can expect to see? You were literally.
Well, I didn't actually say it, but is there anything? I'm trying to give you a little platform to give us a little teaser. Is there anything that you can? Or do you just want to keep your powder dry?
I'll keep the powder dry, but there's going to be a few things. Like if you guys find the podcast funny, if there's shit in here that you like genuinely enjoy, and you guys like sitting down listening to this thing. That you guys have the same humor as us, so there's going to be some funny things that we do on the day that it's going to be an event, man. This isn't a boring property one day out where you're fucking falling asleep 2 hours in and then you wake up 6 hours later and you're like, you missed what you were there for anyway because it was so boring.
Yeah.
The idea of this thing is great quality content, have a laugh the whole way through, take away multiple things from this day, be inspired, want to take action and take your portfolio to the next level.
So if we were to picture the vibe of the whole joint today, then it really, those are the key things. Have fun.
Yep.
Get educated.
Have you seen the video of me worming in the street in Byron after Falls Festival?
I was going to actually leave that.
That is going to be the vibe. We're going to be sending it.
Are you going to be doing the worm?
No.
Surely
no.
not.
Sure. No, I'm not going to be doing
What about the windmill? You've been promising this windmill.
If we get 10,000 subscribers, we're not there yet. Send it on. If we hit 10,000 subscribers before the event, I'll do the windmill.
Now, there was a question here that I thought I'll
backtrack 1 second. For all of you guys that aren't extroverts and want to go crazy stuff, it's not going to be crazy. All right, so like that.
It's not an Anthony Robbins. Everyone's jumping up.
Definitely
You're going to make sure people are giving each other hugs and stuff like that.
Definitely not.
Is there any fire walking? We're not stepping on coals or anything like that.
Only you, bro. All this stuff is just you. You're going to hug yourself. You're going to walk over the fire. There's not going to be any water at the end.
Some people have been asking.
Yes.
Because these events, sometimes there's like those, the cringy sort of icebreakers, say hi to the person and all these other stuff and what's under your seat and all that sort of. There's none of that cheesy. There's none of that cheesy stuff, is there, Sammy? Come on.
No, I'm literally my eyes started tearing because I was like holding back how hard I was laughing and just being like, I hate that shit.
Can you promise it's not going to be one of those events?
I promise you. I hate that stuff. It always made me feel uncomfortable. I'm like the weirdest introvert, extrovert ever.
You are
and
weird.
I always hated that. So as much as I love like getting rowdy and getting amongst it, mate, I hate being forced through that sort of stuff. You're there to enjoy it. You want to have a chat to someone next to you and have a good chat about things. You're more than welcome to, but it's not compulsory to hug it. G'day, mate, how you going? Yeah, I'm Dave from...
Go and meet 5 new people or any of that sort of rubbish. We're not doing any of that.
You don't have to do any of that
No,
sort
you
of
don't have
stuff.
to do that.
No.
If the attendees could take one thing away from this summit.
Take Jimmy, please. Get him the fuck out of Australia.
Oh, for $99, that's pretty good value, I would think. But
I think you've overpaid, son. I reckon you've overpaid.
Well, at least you're getting fed. If you could take one thing away from the summit, Semi, what would you say to people? What would be the one key thing that they would take away from it?
They take away from it, mate. I think that's always down to the individual. So, like, what do you want to? What do you actually want to take away from this event? If you're wanting to go there and inspire yourself and go to a different level and really think about this stuff and change your mindset, there's going to be there will be over 10 people there who are even just staff of APS. Actually, I know clients from there as well. So we're probably talking 20 plus people in the room that have a 10 plus property portfolio. There'd probably be another 5 that'll have a 20 plus property portfolio. That'll be in that room. There's a lot of people that there are going to be to learn off. You know what I mean? There is going to be a lot. If you're only taking one thing away from this event, I'm going to be very, very, very surprised, or you're either too closed in or you think you know too much, because there's going to be a lot of things to be broken down in this. There'll be a lot of different perspectives that get kind of thrown around as well, and it's going to be awesome to be able to answer live from the audience questions that you guys have and questions that come off the back of what's being said as well. So, man, that's what I'm really looking forward to, and I think man, the biggest thing that I think people will take away, and this is why I want to do this quarterly, and it's the same way I want to do the mentoring and a take on 5 people a quarter, because the needle moving of doing these events and coming to these events, whether you're based in Southeast Queensland or whether you're based in Sydney, and and we're talking about doing these things in multiple states as we go as well. We'll probably keep it along the eastern seaboard, but realistically, we probably skip Mexico, but realistically, man, I want to create this community of people committed to this thing, being continually inspired. And if once a quarter we can all get together and I can keep helping you along your journey, whether you're working with Australian Property Scout or not, whether you're a student in a school of property or not, I don't care. If you can get in that room, get motivated, and we can inspire more and more people to get to the next level and to keep taking action, and not just to be sold every time you're in the room.
Yeah.
This thing isn't a pitch fest. I'm covering the cost just of this event with the ticket sales. We're not making money off it. It's literally to get people in the room, get them inspired, get them taking action. If anything, man, this is another way of giving back. With the podcast we're giving back with, but the event is another way of giving back, building this community of people that are just all trying to move to this same level. Because once you get on that trajectory, once this snowball takes off and your portfolio starts to grow and your confidence starts to grow and you're continually going to these things and they're changing every time, the updates are changing, the information's changing, the guests are changing, you're just going to keep leveling up who you are every single time you come to one of these events. And that's what I want to do, man. I want to take people from wherever they are to a different level, and every single time take them to a different level, come away, get inspired. It's like your little adrenaline shot. If you can get an adrenaline shot and it keeps you G'd up for the next 1, 2, 3 months, and then you got another one, and then bang, it's another adrenaline shot. Mate, we've done our job and we're helping people get to that level. So I don't know if that even answers your question of what can they take away from it. It's the adrenaline shot.
I think you took a while to warm up, but you gave us a bit of gold at the end there. Well done. I was actually quite inspired. I think I might just turn up now.
Okay. Okay. But people will be disappointed about that. I'll talk it down a bit off air. Hopefully you don't show up.
No, but I do like what you're doing. And when you think about the value that you're offering, and I love it, Sammy. I think having the like-minded people and having a good laugh. And I also see it as when you talked about the summit, it is almost also a celebration of everyone's journey collectively and the APS business that you've created.
Yeah.
So I think it's a special thing. How does that make you feel to think about, 15 years ago when you were at on the farm, and now you're hosting a summit, and people are actually wanting to come and hear you talk live?
Yeah, man.
How does that make you feel?
It's a pretty crazy feeling, hey. We were talking off air, they're chatting with the producer and yourself, and you guys both know me pretty well. And we're talking about the fact that we're talking about Dog's Body, which we were laughing about a few weeks ago. And the fact that I was scaffolding between 16 to 19, as well as working on the farm. And playing soccer. And you guys didn't know that. You're like, really? You're playing that? And like, I think about it back now, man, and think of like all the hard work and the toil and the effort and the energy and everything that went into starting and then building the portfolio and then taking the portfolio where it's gone and then building a team and being able to build a team and watching their portfolios grow and their journeys out there in the space and being able to help them and lead them. And then you look at the clients and the journeys that some of these guys are on. And especially when you get like those super, super thankful people, you do these strategy sessions and like, wow, I can't believe it's gone up 100 grand in 8 months. It's gone up, 80 grand in 4 months. I had it for 3 years. We just sold it and we just did 120% growth. Man, these things, they're so moving, when you go through these things and these results come through and you can actually see the genuine appreciation with these guys, man, you just want to keep helping them and keep helping similar people to them as well. And man, I think like, I never thought I would have kind of ever gotten to this level, like especially the ability to do a summit and how quickly this thing has sold the way it has sold out. And not that it's fully sold out, but it's not that far away from it now, how hard this thing has already gone. And I think when I boil it down and have a look at it, I think it's just like appreciation for everything I've kind of gone through and learned and all the money that I spent on all the other seminars and the events and all the rest of this sort of stuff, all culminating in me being able to kind of give back and help people on that same journey as well. So, man, it's very humbling, I think, to see how hard this thing's sort of gone off and how great the reception's been for it as well. And, mate, I'm just excited to get in the room, get pumped up, give some mad content, and have a great day.
I love that. Very well said, Sammy. And I know I've been witness to a bit of your journey, but mate, I couldn't be more proud of you to put something like this on. I think you never cease to surprise me as the bar that you always continually raise. You never rest on your laurels and you're always looking at different ways to add value. So I think this is going to be awesome. And just from my experience with seminars, I often would say, if you took one thing out of it, it is worth it.
100%.
Even just that one thing, because the cumulative effect of all those one things. But you're going to get so much more than just the one. So at this event, if people want to get involved and want to sign up and register and come along, can you give us the deets?
Pretty much, mate, the deets are everywhere on our normal stuff. So all the socials, the EDMs are going out. They'll be on the stories, all that sort of stuff. But if you go to www.australianpropertyscout.com.au, and you obviously all the socials at Australian Property Scout as well. There's all the links there. There's all the stuff to be able to jump on, book your tickets, get it all sorted. Quite honestly, guys, if you're in Southeast Queensland or especially in that northern New South Wales, to Southeast Queensland, I'm including Sunny Coast, Brizzy, out to bloody Ipswich, Toowoomba, all the rest of it. If you're in that radius of an hour, 2 hours away, you're talking one day, an hour, 2 hour drive max and bloody a $99 ticket to get a ridiculous amount of info that will help inspire you and take you to that next level. I think you have zero excuses. Yep. If you're in the state, you're in the country, if you're at home on that weekend, you have zero excuses. And I think this is where you always talk about the rubber hitting the road. And we talk about the chalk and cheese of people with the correct mindset and the incorrect mindset. If you're umming and ahhing about it, just because it's a day on a weekend, you're probably not going to be one of the people that really succeeds in property. And it's a big call, but it's realistic because property is a long journey. And if you can't get off your ass and come to something that's that close, that's going to have this much info in it and get access to the sort of people you're going to get access to in that room, maybe you need to think about your mindset and what you're actually going to achieve. Because this was something that I struggled with a lot when I was younger, was the things of like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? When you start changing that mindset to, no, I'm going to do this thing. I've committed to this thing. I've committed to property investing. This is for me, it was my avenue out. I was a very low income earner. Property was my avenue out, but I still made excuses. This is that wake up call. Stop making excuses. If you're in Sydney or in Melbourne and you fly up, you either fly, if money's an issue, which I can understand, you book now, we're 5-6 weeks out, whatever the hell it is. You get return tickets from Sydney, probably $150 each way, right? Plus a $99 ticket, you're talking less than $400, maybe $500, something like that. If money's an issue, just do that. The amount of content you'll get out of it, I guarantee you, is more than $500, like a lot more than $500 worth of expense from that end. You know what I mean? So I feel like, man, it's one of those things. These are those moments where, in 3 months we run this thing again, post it, and then 6 months after that, and then 12 months, 9 months, 12 months, all the rest of stuff, because it's going to be running quarterly. This is where this community is going to be built. And in my opinion, you want to be there from the very start, because I'm going to remember your face. You're going to remember their face. The APS team's going to remember who they are. Who do you look after, man? You look after the people. We look after everyone, right? But you build a relationship, a connection with people you see all the time, you speak to all the time. You want to help these people like above and beyond, right? And so I think it's one of these things, man, that I don't think you should make excuses. Like if it's even crossing your mind to come to it, and man, some people probably don't love us. Maybe they don't like us that much. Whatever. I'm not going to go to it.
Probably you more than me.
Maybe. You're a dickhead. But you know what I mean? There's people who maybe, and if they're your reasons, whatever. But if you genuinely want to come, but you're making excuses around money or time or whatever, if your missus is having a whinge, love, there's going to be a live Q&A with a chick who's 26 years old who built $1 million net passive. I need you to come and see this thing. You need to watch this thing, be in this room with me. Because if you want to inspire her and get her to go on the journey or him to go on the journey, this chick has done more than you. This might be the woman speaking, done more than you at your third, whatever. You know what I mean? Like these are the examples. You want to be in the room with these people to be inspired and to go to the next level. This is where it all comes down to. It's a mindset shift, always. You want to go to the next level, it's a mindset shift. It's not money, it's not time, it's mindset. Because you got the right mindset. Money and time don't matter because you will change that yourself. That's what this thing is for. Guarantee you, people will come out of this room at the end of it. They will be pumped. They will be excited. They will be wanting to be on that stage sharing their investor story one day. And man, that's what it's all about.
I love it. I love it, Sammy. What
Beautiful,
a way
man.
to finish off. I don't think there's anything else to cover. Is there anything else you want to...
Final thing, April the 13th on the Gold Coast. Location has been confirmed. We sold out so many tickets in the first 4 days, we had to change location because we exceeded the capacity of where it was.
The Robina RSL?
The Robina RSL could only take 250 people. We're now at the Star Casino, mate. It sold that quick. We had to go like max size. So we had to go to the Star Casino.
So you can get content, get on the pokies, win a couple of hundred. You can win your $500 back. No, we don't condone gambling. We do not. We're not trying to go.
In 3,002 years, that is the best joke you've ever. I've never laughed that hard at one of your jokes, but you got me good.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Is that because that's what you're going to be doing? In between sets, when I'm actually doing the work, you're going to be out there having a slap.
At the casino.
It's at the casino, bro.
Jeez,
nowhere else can handle the capacity we already got to.
Why does that not surprise me from you? Why does that? Here I'm thinking we're going to have some fish and chips at the RSL at the.
You can fuck off there after, mate. All good. See you later.
All right, so we're
Star Casino.
Star Casino.
Saturday,
Jeez.
April the 13th. Get amongst it. Get there. I want to meet you.
That's on the Gold Coast, right? Is it?
It's on the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
Yeah. There's a Star in the Sydney, but this is a Star in the Gold Coast.
Okay.
I want to see you guys there. I'd love to meet you. Come along. Heckle the shit out of Jimmy when he's trying to talk. Nah. Honestly, I'd love to see you guys there. Keep building this community. This is the first event, guys. My honest opinion, you want to get in there on the ground level of this thing as well. We're going to be doing it quarterly. This thing's only going to get bigger and better. Get yourself there. That's pretty much it, Jimmy. You got anything else, mate? Are you good?
Nah, I'm good. I think that's a great way to wrap it up. I'm looking forward to it now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
Now?
Yeah, it wasn't before, but now that I know exactly what to... Who's going to be hosting? You're the MC,
I'm the
obviously.
MC,
Yeah, you're the MC.
No one's you. I don't know, actually.
Nah.
There's a big guest that offered.
Ooh.
I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but so I was going to give it to you. Oh, no, he'll pull a bigger crowd. Bring him in.
I don't think he'll be as good.
Mark Boris. Listeners, thank you once again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you got inspired to come to the APS Live Summit, the Australian Property Scout Summit. I want to see you guys there. If there's anyone you want to inspire to come along, or anyone you want to get all the information to, make sure you send them this podcast. If you've been enjoying the show, make sure you hit subscribe. If you want to hear more content, we've got plenty of stuff coming up, guys. It's going to be getting bigger and better this year. We are delivering everything you guys are asking for. There is so much coming up in the pipeline that you guys are going to love. Now, if you haven't left us a 5-star review yet, make sure you've left it. For all of those of you that have, which we're up to about 700 on the combined platforms of 5-star reviews, we bloody love you. If you haven't left one yet, make sure you jump on there. You leave us a 5-star review. Until next week, guys, thank you for jumping on, Big Jimmy, and I will see you all very soon.